Oh man, let me tell you, that was quite the process assembling all the necessary pieces here for this video to happen. The review of the Thailand variant of Aiken Axler, now named Alan Aiken Axler. We'll get into that later, but yeah guys, this requires a lot of different pieces for comparison purposes. Obviously, I wanted to bring out obviously the Chinese versions of Aiken, not only the original but also the more recent Chinese version from 2016, and then the Vietnam version of Aiken, but I couldn't find that little rascal. He literally resided on my review table for the last like 2-3 years, ever since that 11 pack came out that he was released in. And the weird part is, Krusty Rotor, the Vietnam version of him from the same pack, never moved. And yet Aiken was gone and replaced with the Chinese version right here. This version was there, the Vietnam version, God knows where he ended up. So I spent literally 3 days about looking for it. I finally found it deep in the storage. I don't know why I replaced the Vietnam version with the 2016 or whatever Chinese version of him. It makes no sense whatsoever. I'm very upset with my earlier, younger self, but thank goodness I found it, so now we could do this video. You literally will notice on my review schedule in the description of my channel, this video was supposed to come out earlier, but I couldn't because I couldn't find that specific version. I'm committed. I didn't want to do it without it. Simple as that. But yeah, guys, today we will be reviewing the Nitroade racer from Cars 1, the classic. He's been released since 2006, which is just so cool to me. Very excited to get into it. This guy came out of Case F for 2024 singles, which I unboxed. I'll leave the link in the description below, and card suggestion pop up in the top right-hand corner. I already reviewed DJ with Flames, so you can check out that video also in the description below. So let's get into it. It is not the first time that Aiken Axler has been released from Thailand, unlike some of the other racers that we've reviewed here recently. You know, Johnny Blamer, Misty Motorcraft last year, those were new Thailand variants, but so far this year there has not been a new Piston Cup Racer Thailand variant, unfortunately. Aiken's last release from Thailand was in 2021. Which means this is his first time, though, being released on the Red Riders packaging here. But I love how the artwork looks. It literally is perfect for what they're going for here because of how long it is. It takes up so much space. So really cool. I'm a humongous fan of it. And again, you guys know I love then and now type scenarios. So if you take the 2006 Desert card version of Aiken and put it up against this one, literally 18 years apart, it's just so cool to think. I mean, wow, they're still releasing this character. He's still super popular. Sure, he's a little different, but overall, it's kind of like the same spiel, right? It's so cool. I love it. Just new packaging. The other cool thing to note is that they used to call him Nitroade number 28 up until 2016 when they started calling all the Piston Cup racers by their real name. Actually, that started in 2015, but Aiken didn't get that treatment until the next year. Speaking of which, his name. Why did they change his name to Alan Aiken Axler? Now, let's remember, maybe you don't know this, but in 2021, when he was re-released under the Desert Horizon packaging, some websites did refer to him in the product descriptions as Alan Aiken Axler. Example, Smith's. The website Smith's UK store referred to him as such. But we didn't think anything of it because when they released him that year, it still did say Aiken Axler on the card. Unfortunately, though, the time has come that now it does say it on the card, and they've made Aiken his nickname. That's what the quotations would indicate, and his real first name is Alan. Does it make sense? No. His name's been Aiken Axler ever since the beginning of time, the inception of the Cars universe with the Meet the Cars, Blu-ray Finder, all that stuff. He's been Aiken Axler, okay? Aiken is a perfectly fine first name. It's not like, you know, here's a great example. Todd Marcus, the no-star racer from Cars 1, has a nickname as well, and it's indicated in the Meet the Cars book, the Blu-ray Finder, all that stuff. It's the Shockster, right? And they put that in quotations just like they're doing here now with Aiken. But it's not like it's the Shockster Axler that we've known, and it's like, yeah, that's not your real name, bro. Aiken, perfectly fine real name. Now, sure, it could be a nickname, but does it really make sense to be a nickname? Makes maybe more sense to be a middle name. Yeah, so at the end of the day, this is stupid. I hate this change. It's not because I don't like change, but why are we changing his name? Why are we making this modification now? I honestly don't think it was intentional. I think it just got screwed up in Mattel's system and it just popped out this way. You know what I mean? It's just like Davey Apex turned into Dave Alternators. Really, it just, I don't know. It's on that level of bad to me. I don't like it, but either way, the card looks nice. On the back here, you have some other Cars 1 Classic characters that are being released currently. You have James Clean Air, Brush Kerber, and Paunchy Wipeout for the Piston Cup racers, Kathy Copter, Cactus McQueen, and Mater with Sign. Now, these two up top are new Thailand variants for 2024. I reviewed Cactus McQueen, and I probably will review Mater with Sign at some point in the future, but I would probably put a bet on that. It's probably around like plus 120 right now on FanDuel. That would be a 12 Days of Christmas type of review. Maybe you got that reference, maybe you didn't. Of course, the 7th car, still missing, still bothering me. Yep, it sure is. All right. It's a long, long time before I unbox this car, so let's just get this bad boy open. On the perfect card, that is, by the way. No, guys, seriously, I promise I wasn't stalling. I know, that was on a perfect card, and it pained me to open it up. But it's not like I was stalling making this video trying to find another one in a store to open. I truly could not find this stupid Vietnam version of Aiken Axler, so I hope the comparison is worth it. And yeah, by the looks of it, they are extremely different. I can't believe these are technically the same character. Wow, they look super different. So should be a good video here. But yeah, I truly couldn't find it. It took forever to find it. And it was just, oh God, it was, you know, I went to Canada a couple weeks ago and I was looking for, by the way, there is Aiken in the movie. I was looking for some Canadian currency that I had left over from my first trip to Canada way back in 2017. Of course, that's the time when I got hit by the car, which I made a video about. It's called I Was Involved in the Crash. Kind of a classic, iconic video on my channel at this point now. A lot of people from way back when remember that. Maybe you do. Let me know in the comments if you were around back when I made that video. If not, go check it out. It's kind of cool. I did get into a crash. But yeah, and then Antonio Velosa Excelente was involved in it. It's pretty cool. But yeah, no. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, I couldn't find the Canadian currency for the life of me. And so when this happened, I was like, there's no way I'm struggling to find something again. Like, it really does drive you crazy when you think you know where something should be and you can't find it. It just drives you bonkers. All right, so yeah, we're going to do a crazy comparison here. You have the original Chinese version from, this is, yeah, like 2007, 2008. You can see this one. It's a little beat up. It's got a chip there on the spoiler, but overall, actually still looks relatively good. Now, a major difference between this Chinese version and the more recent one is the eyes, the windshield there. You could see previously he had the raised eyelids. So there's like a valley of the white here. There's a little bump when you get up to the black part, and when you get down to the black part, then they just made it completely flat, as you can see right there. And they did this for all the Piston Cups racers that they released from 2015 and onwards. I don't think, there might have been a couple variants like that in 2013. I think they did do Aiken in 2013, didn't they? I know they did them in 2016 for sure. But either way, that's the big difference between these two. And then the Vietnam version just comes completely out of left field here, with the eyes being bigger, a little grainier, also just not looking that bad. His wheels are way grayer. So it'll be interesting. This will be quite the comparison. We're going to start with the newer Chinese version though, because I think that's always a good reference point here. Just to give you a bigger reference point, this guy was produced on the 296th day of 2015. So yeah, definitely the 2016 version of him. No idea how I got him loose, but we're going to just roll with it. And yeah, the expression is quite a bit different here. As you can see, the eyes are very different. Yeah, they gave him a little bit more spread out. I don't think it looks quite as good. The eyelids just kind of look wonky. They look misaligned. It does not look centered at all. This whole, whatever this is, kind of a just amalgam. Does not look right. Like, it just doesn't look properly aligned and proportioned, but oh well, Thailand. The main color of him is a little less dark. It's a little lighter, more gunmetal gray versus black. You can still see the sparkles in it, which is kind of cool. The models are pretty much the same. You have the grills there. And the logos actually both look pretty solid. I would contend Nitroade high energy drink. And on the Thailand version, the logo's got a little fatter and a little short. It's not as long, but it's a little taller, I guess. A little more wide, you could say. It also doesn't have as much of a white border. Take note of that. I do like the text, high energy drink. It stands out a little bit more than on the original version. Of course, with these piston cup racers, the axles are always an improper length. These are a little too long for this model of piston cup racer. As you can see there, you could pop them back and forth. It applies to any Thailand racer this model. And it's funny because the leakless model has the opposite problem where the axle is too short, so the wheels don't make it all the way out to the edge of the fender there. The only model that doesn't have the problem is the RPM and Octane Game one. It's pretty perfect, pretty online. You think, wow, it must be very hard then. It really should not be that hard to make a properly length axle, but hey, this is Aiken Axler. Pun. But yeah, moving right along here with the comparison. This Chinese version does have more of gunmetal gray wheels, more so than the original Chinese version that had completely black wheels. No stop at all. Like it has fully black versus the gray. The contingency sponsors look all right. Again, we're not expecting them to be as clear as the Chinese version. Not even close. But it's not like they look atrocious. You can tell that the wheels do have that sandpaper, like not fully sprays type of issue. When you look at it from the side here, look at that. Yep, it's just not as pure as it is there. It's like the sprayer struggles to get that inner part of the wheel. Zoom back out here a little bit. You can see the coloring. The orange is a little lighter. It's more of an orangish red on the Thailand version now. Gas cap, gas cap. Here we have a humongous difference. So again, not only is the orange brighter, and it's on full display here on the roof, but the spoiler changed color completely. Not just shades of a color, changed color, and very wrongfully so. You go from the orange, the same color as all the decals here, to a dark red, which doesn't match any of the decals. I don't know how they got it to be red. Doesn't make any sense to me. Completely pulled it out of their bum. Oh my God, Mattel, what were we thinking with this? And again, guys, he was like this when he came on 2021, so I don't want to make it seem like they just screwed this up. No, it's a mistake that they started in 2021, and now they repeated it. They repeated it. Why is this spoiler red? Age-old question that has only been around for 3 years. The window bars look good. Of course, you have the opaque windows there, which make the car look quite a bit different. On the back here, you have the typical Nitroade logo. Looks fine. The flames. It just all looks out of place, though, because you go from red to the orange again, whereas here it's just perfect orange to orange. It flows nicely. It makes sense. So now it's super weird. It looks like an air. It doesn't look like it belongs here. It's like his spoiler got damaged and he had to get a replacement one and they didn't have it in the same color, or they just couldn't paint it. He looks like a gremlin who like just slapped on a random door that doesn't match all of his other doors. You know what I mean? I'm really dog on this Aiken, but the spoiler, like that problem does not occur pretty much. Like I've never seen that issue before. Like it's not like on Ruby Easy Hoax, they're like, oh yeah, give him a dark blue spoiler, give him a purple spoiler. Like that issue just never ever happens. So it really needs to be called out here because it's that egregious. Like that thing, it just, how do you screw it up that bad? Like, I'm giving you guys countless examples here. They have never messed up a spoiler like that before. Now, granted, this one, my Ponchi has a big chip on it, but the spoiler still is the proper color. So I really don't know what they were thinking with it, and that's why we have to call it out. And that's honestly why this is probably one of the worst Piston Cup racer variants of all time, because it's a very unique issue. Anyways, on the base, though, he was produced the 5th week of 2024, so we're into 2024 production now with Case F here in Thailand, obviously. Part of the problem. But yeah, no, 5 weeks, end of January, early February, this guy was born. And yeah, now we can compare him to the Vietnam version here, which I would say is better. I don't love the expression either, just because the white of the eyes are very streaky and grainy. It's like there's static all throughout, which does not look great at all. But the expression, I think without that, it would be the best expression of any of these because the eyes are bigger and a little closer together. But yeah, way grainier than the Thailand version. I think the logo looks a little grainier as well, which usually Vietnam doesn't struggle as much with, but they did here. The axles are good though. The wheels are quite a bit more gray, and they did do a really good job painting the wheels, and Vietnam does. Like, Vietnam gets a lot of hate, but honestly, they are pretty good with how they do business. You can see that the wheels are perfectly fine. The contingency sponsors are very clear, if not even clearer maybe than the Chinese versions. Everything looks good. You can tell here that the aid is in much of a thicker font than it is on this version. The text honestly looks a lot worse here than it does up here. It just doesn't look like it's confident. Looks like it's shaking a little bit. That O is very messed up there. I don't know. Look at that O compared to that O. It just looks gross, man. This is a bad, bad variant. The black window bars. These window bars are like tan, like a goldish beige. It's, again, just a weird color choice. Oh, man, look how nice that orange spoiler looks. I'm jealous. And I shouldn't be. You know it's bad when you're just asking for something to be accurate. That should be the bare minimum, right? Man, I just want an orange spoiler. Like, we should be saying, man, I just want the GetMeCollecitlbes to be uncanceled. Like, we should be asking for a lot more because we deserve it as fans. But this is a bad variant, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know what the hell Mattel was doing with this. The wing, the spoiler, whatever you want to call it, is just pretty poor. It's almost like they got it mixed up with Phil Tanks in here. His spoiler is a little bit more red, but it makes sense because his roof is a gradient. So it starts yellow and kind of fires up to the red here in the back. Maybe that's how they got confused. I don't know. Tim Treadless's spoiler is a little darker. But all of those, I mean, they did a much better job with some of these other racers here. Tim Treadless from Thailand is far superior than Aiken. Nonetheless, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. And we could still do... Look, this is so cool. So, of course, you guys know that the first cars ever made from 2006 were done in Thailand. They look a lot like the Chinese versions released the next year and the year after that and so on and so forth. But it's really cool like that. It's full circle now. Started in Thailand, China, and now they're back to Thailand. And yet now they look way different. Like, I have my original Chinese leakless and Nitroade in my glass display table. So I can't bring them out right now, but it's just cool looking at these retro racers, the ones that we've come to know the most and love the most because they've been around and they've been released the most. Like, I don't know really why. I mean, they are shown maybe a little bit more in the movie than your average racer like, you know, Johnny Blamer or Brush Kerber or whatnot, but they were just decided on as, yeah, these are going to be like your main racers that did not speak. You'll have no real connection to them from the movie, but because they're released a lot as diecast and from the very beginning, you're gonna grow up with them. They're gonna be like your brothers. And that's kind of how it was, just in the diecast world, the diecast terms for me. I mean, I'm truly being honest with you guys, these two characters, especially when shown and put together, invoke so much nostalgia than you can even imagine. Maybe you feel the same way if you've been collecting as long as I have. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. I feel like a lot of you guys do appreciate the rant type videos a little bit. You know, I'm just being honest, right? It's not like I'm trying to get up here and yell and mad and all that stuff. Like, I want to give you guys my honest opinion. And yeah, my honest opinion is that this is just a poor attempt on Mattel's part at doing Aiken Axler. You know, like I said, they did this in 2021, so it's nothing new, but it's the first time I've gone to take a look at them, open them up, and review them for you guys. So, as always, appreciate your support. I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.